Hey Changemaker! Welcome to Learning for Good, the only podcast that teaches nonprofit leaders how to leverage training to drive performance, improve capacity, and fuel their mission impact. Do you ever feel like your nonprofit is growing, but your people just aren't keeping up? Or like you're fixing the same problems over and over? Do you wonder how to build confident, capable staff who know how to lead, not just execute? If we haven't met yet, I'm Heather, and I know how hard it can feel to get people to do what's expected of them. Trust me, I have 3 kids. I've tried telling people what to do and how. I've tried the traditional training approaches, and I realized that just doesn't work. And that's when I started researching what does work. Now, I help mission-driven leaders use learning to drive performance, build capacity, and make change that lasts. And I'm sharing it all on this podcast. So block your calendar, turn off your Teams or Slack chat, and let's dive in. It's Learning for Good.
I recently recorded a podcast conversation with Dr. Luke Hobson. He has led instructional design in academia and teaches it as well. And the episode should be released soon. But prior to recording, we were just kind of chatting and catching up a bit. And he showed me an e-learning that he built with AI. And what he showed me looked good. And it was fast for him to create. He just loaded a bunch of stuff up and AI produced the course. AI can do that. And that leads us into a trap. A trap that says training should be fast because AI is fast. But here's the thing. Luke already had the content he needed for that e-learning. He already knew his audience. So a lot of the pre-work that takes so much time had already been done. He's also experienced with AI. I think we all have varying levels of experience there. He's experienced with it. So in this case, it was fast and it worked. But that's not always true. AI can create efficiencies, but good training takes time. And I want us to talk about why that is today. Let's dive in. It's Learning for Good. Good training takes time. I want to start by saying this episode is not anti-AI. I use AI daily, all throughout the day for many different purposes. I found it to be a helpful tool, and it can save us time in our process. But good training still takes time. And I wanted to talk about why that is today. We have a limited amount of time, and I want us to think about our time today as this circle, this pie, okay? Imagine you have this circle, right? This represents time, the time it takes to create training. So maybe not all of your time, but the time it takes to create training. Now, a good amount of your time is spent establishing trust and credibility with stakeholders. And I want to emphasize this. If your stakeholders do not trust you, you will remain in order taker mode. You are the training expert. You know how adults learn best. So we need to spend time establishing trust and credibility so they want what your expertise can give them. This is how we get to shift requests from, hey, build this training for me, to a two-way conversation where you get to uncover what's really happening, what behavior needs to change, what success looks like. But that shift doesn't happen without trust. Your stakeholders need to believe that you understand their world, that you care about their outcomes, and that what you do, your expertise, matters to them. That requires trust and credibility, and that takes time. Another large portion of your time is going to go to understanding your audience and their context. And that's because you aren't just delivering content. You're trying to create change, right? In L&D, we aren't just delivering content. I'm going to say that again. AI is great at content, but we aren't just delivering content. We are trying to build skills and change behaviors. If you're trying to help someone use a new skill, communicate differently, lead more effectively, whatever it is, then you need to understand what their day-to-day looks like, the pressures that they face. You need to understand what prevents them from doing those things already and what support exists and what might be missing, right? This takes time. Understanding your audience takes time. But this is how we design training that actually works. It's essential, right? But it takes time. So this is understanding your audience. Now, you do also need time to design and develop the training. And I think in the past, this has taken up quite a significant amount of time. So this is your design. This has taken up a significant amount of time in the past. Going in, creating an e-learning, building PowerPoints, building trainer guides, right? That took a lot of time. This is where I think AI is going to speed up our process a lot. And I think this will be the smallest part of our pie in the future. This section, this phase of work, right? Designing and developing, this is where you're mapping the learning journey, you're writing the objectives, you're choosing the right modality for the training, you're creating activities, you're building tools and resources. This is the actual outline and creation of the training product, for lack of a better word. AI will save you time here, right? AI can help you brainstorm activities or tools. AI can help you identify existing content that you could repurpose. It can even create a training, as Dr. Hobson and I discussed before. But it will not be effective if we haven't spent time in these other parts of the pie. So this is where I see time savings for us. Now, there is still another piece of the pie. You need time to test and iterate. And I want us to cover a little bit of that today too. When we create something, we need to know if what we created worked. And if not, we need to know how to adjust it. So this is our testing phase. Now, this could be a pilot where you test it with a small group of people. This could be launching, collecting data, and using that data to understand what's happening, whether changes are being made. So this actually I have as a larger piece of the pie here, because a lot of times I think we launch the training and we're done, but we actually need to still be connected to what's happening, because this is where we collect that data. This is where we're able to adjust. This is where we prove the behavior change is happening, right? Which actually helps us do these other things better. So yes, good training takes time, and that's okay. It's okay for training to take time, because the goal isn't to deliver content, it's to change behavior. That requires us to understand the real problem, design for how people actually work, and build in ways for them to be able to apply what they learned. When we rush through this process, or we rely too much on AI in this process, right? When we rush, we often create something that looks complete, looks good, but the actual learning doesn't stick. So taking the time up front in our trust and credibility, in our needs analysis, and then again at the end as we're testing and iterating, this actually reduces rework, it builds credibility, and it leads to results that you can actually point to. So good training takes time. If you are a nonprofit employee with training responsibility and you need the language to help you articulate things like this to your stakeholders, join us at our Nonprofit L&D Collective networking event. This space is designed just for you to meet your peers at other nonprofits, ask questions, share ideas, and solve real problems together. And that, my friend, saves you time. I'll see you next time on Learning for Good.
Hey friend, was this episode helpful for you? Did you like what you heard? Do you want more content like this? Here are 3 things you can do. Hit subscribe, leave a review on Apple Podcasts or your podcast app of choice, share this episode with a colleague. This means so much to me personally. I read every review, but it also helps me learn what content you like most so I can create more of what you want. All right, turn that Teams or Slack chat back on when you're ready, and I'll see you next time on Learning for Good.